I'm making this video for all of you who are planning to go abroad, go back home, visit family and friends, and later come back to Japan. First, you need to take a PCR test, and the results have to be within 72 hours before departure of the last leg of your trip. Okay, so if you're transferring domestically, the 72 hours is from the last flight to Japan. And because the Japanese immigration wants a specific negative certificate test, you need to look for a clinic that already has those certificates. They can be downloaded from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, or maybe you can download it for them or print it out, give it to the clinic or the place where you're taking the test, and have it written out and stamped by the doctor or the clinic. If you have been vaccinated and have proof of vaccination, plus the negative PCR results, it won't be so hard later on. But before you board your flight, the last flight going to Japan, you will need to download a QR code. It's actually a questionnaire that you need to fill out, and then you will get a QR code at the end of this questionnaire, which you need to screenshot or download and show later to the immigration once you arrive. Once you arrive in Japan, you will be taken to different places where you have to show different documents, your proof of vaccination and PCR tests and everything that you have. Fill out some questionnaires. Then you will have to take another PCR test, a rapid one, and wait for the results. They will also tell you whether you need to be quarantined in a hotel or go directly home and quarantine there. In case of hotels, for now it's 3, 6, or 10 days, depending on where you're coming from. Once your PCR test returns and you're negative, you will wait for the bus that will take you to the hotel, if you're going to the hotel, or you will just go out and wait for somebody to pick you up because you can't use the public transportation to go home. Someone has to pick you up. Then all the people that were supposed to go to a hotel were taken to another waiting area. We were waiting for the shuttle bus that was supposed to take us to a hotel. Nobody told us where they're taking us. And once we boarded the bus, we asked the bus driver, but he said, "Sorry, I can't tell you." It was a secret. So I turned on my Google Maps because I really wanted to know where the hell he was taking us, and just followed the route. We were going towards Kanagawa. And then we finally arrived at Yokohama Bay Hotel. It's the APA chain hotels. It was around 10 p.m. We arrived at Haneda before 3 p.m. and arrived at the hotel at 10 p.m. So it took us about 7 hours to go through all the procedures and finally arrive at the hotel. Once we arrived at the hotel, there was improvised reception area where we talked to the staff. They told us about the rules during quarantine, and they gave us some printouts. And later on, they gave us the keys to our rooms and took us to our rooms. One thing that hasn't happened to me, but happened to a friend who was traveling with kids, when they arrived at the hotel, they tried to separate them into separate rooms. Of course, they refused. When we got to our rooms, there was dinner, obento, hanging on the doorknob. And once we got into the room, we couldn't go out anymore for 3, 6, or 10 days, depending on how long we needed to stay. For the next 3 days, I was getting my breakfast, lunch, and dinner hung on the door. And our hotel had a choice of Japanese food, vegetarian food, and halal food. I chose halal food. It was really nice. But I was in touch with other friends who had just arrived. They were staying at different hotels, and their food wasn't good at all. So it really depends where you go, where they take you. So because of that, it would be good to prepare snacks and food for yourself, because once you arrive at the airport, you can't go anywhere. You can't do any shopping. So bring some snacks and the things that you like. Coffee, tea. You might not have enough coffee or not enough tea. So just be ready in case you don't like the food that they give at the hotel. On the morning of the third day, just before breakfast, you will get a PCR test, a kit. You need to do that, and once you finish it, someone will come and pick it up. Don't be surprised when you open the door and see the people all dressed up in those special suits with shields and masks and everything. And just put your mask on when you open the door, because they will ask you to do that in order to pass them the test. Once they get the test results, they will call you, and if you're negative, you will go back to the airport. There is again that shuttle bus that will take you to the airport, from where you can be picked up by your friends or family and go home. One thing I just remembered, at the airport, before the hotel, you need to download 2 apps, and one of them is a tracking app. It's called My SOS. This app will be following you during your whole quarantine, and they will set it up for you at the airport. So once you go to the hotel, you need to check in. There's a button that you have to click on. It's like a check-in button. And then again, when you get home after the hotel quarantine, you need to check in again so that they know that you're home. This SOS app will be making automatic video calls. Also, it will be sending you messages to click here, click there, report your health condition daily, and like that during your quarantine. They will be checking on you all the time, and in case you don't answer the phone, they will send somebody to your house. So to conclude, if you're okay with lots of hassle and you can put up with a lot of BS, go home, visit your family and friends, have a great time, and take care coming back to Japan. Bye!